Okay, hello there. So, unfortunately, I wasn't able to stream yesterday. I was feeling pretty under the weather. I'm still feeling relatively under the weather. So, we're not going to be streaming that long, but at least I'm going to try to get some things done today. So, hey, it happens. So, less yapping, more me doing this. But yeah, I'm going to give myself like at least, I'll try to do 20 minutes. But yeah, I'm just totally under the weather right now. So, I think last time we spoke about her morality. So, let me just look this over again. Sure. All right. So, her mind, her body, her heart, and her morality. Let's talk about her social interactions. This one's this version of Saber is definitely more personable than her future self. That's for sure. All right. Hmm. If there's one thing we can definitely agree with Saber, just in general, she might have not been the most like effective leader, ruler, whatever you want to call it. But when it comes to her tactical brilliance, yeah, top notch. But the other things leave a lot to be desired. Like I mentioned before, Future Saber is there's a lot of things going on over there. The stuff that she had to go through her entire life, well, from when she was Lily all the way until the Holy Grail War with Shiro. Yeah, Saber went through a lot of crap, a lot of crap. I would not want to wish on my enemies. There's stuff happening outside my door. All right, whatever. And like I mentioned before, Lily is your prime example of a novice or a squire. She's immature at this point in her life. And here I'm sounding like Wolverine again. I do have to admit, I'm gonna have to. With the outline's fine because I'm just going off my own personal memory, but I'm gonna have to definitely be up to date with the new Inequal lore because this all that I'm writing right now is just from my own personal knowledge from back in the day. I retain a lot of good information from Fate. It's just these days it's just these days it's hard to keep up because there's just so much stuff. Like a buddy of mine earlier, he's is still very big into FGO. He sent me a picture of Bikini Ryogi. I'm like, what the fuck? That's just so out of character. FGO's funny. Look at her early years. Realize. Requires balance and empathy. I cannot spell right now. And again, this is ironic because yeah, there goes my voice. This is ironic because, as you've seen later on in life, our relationships are kind of like pretty all over the place. So we're not going to deny that. Mordred being a prime example. So, carrying off of this, bonds can create conflicts with duty, yeah, and expectations. Yeah. And like I mentioned before, like you really just generally have to feel bad for. I can feel bad for Saber, of course. She had it rough, but holy shit, like the stuff that Mordred had to go through. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Prime example of a child craving their parents' affection and going through a rebellion to try to gain their affection, and it didn't really end too well over there. There's just a lot of well, what did I always say? That type of characters always have a lot of baggage, and they just go through a lot of traumatic things. Yeah, Saber, prime example of that. Mordred, well, yeah, definitely Mordred, but it's just Type Moon MCs and supporting MCs, supporting main characters that just generally just go through a lot of crap. Throughout her early years, she begins to realize that leadership requires balance and empathy. Bonds can create conflicts with duty and expectations. Hmm. Turn. All right, so let's take a look. I can add more to that later. That's so I think for now that's pretty good. So, mind. We're not going to break this down to layers. So mind, body. I really can't believe I wrote that little section on the body section. Oh, God. Hearts. And morality, just to make this a little bit better in its personal relationships. Okay. We can carry on from interpersonal relationships and talk about her heroic identity. Is that what I'm self-perception? Self-perception. There we go. Self-perception. Oh, this is gonna be funny. Self-perception. I'm gonna do like another 10 minutes. Like it's getting pretty bad. I should probably get back to bed. But at least I streamed something today, so probably not coming back tonight. But tomorrow hopefully I'll feel a little bit better and we'll get right to it. Because technically I'm only dealing. Well, I'm working on this now. The horror one is done, but I'm waiting until I actually get better so I actually dub that and get that released. Golden Sun long-term project. I'm not even worried about that. That's gonna get done when it gets done. So I'm technically only working on this horror and right now. So self-perception. And to be honest with you, that's the beginning of the end for her right there. It's like you have to the way you have to build yourself up from an early age, you have to fulfill all these expectations. You have to be the type of ruler that doesn't fail. And yeah, that's good because if you really think about it, she was premature. God damn it. She was 15 when she pulled the sword, so mentally she wasn't there. And all that stuff was forced on her from an early age. This is from familiar with Vera with Albion because right from the get-go, Knights, right from the get-go, you have to live a certain way or else bad stuff happens. You get shunned, you get outs, you get looked down upon. But in Saber's case, it's like she has to be perfect in order to rule her kingdom. So the expectations are just off the charts. Like she can't fail, or else we know what happens when she fails. Long story short, bad stuff happens. Okay, we can actually go into. We can definitely use this. I'm glad I actually had a little thinking session right there because it, to meet public and political standards. There we go. Yeah, she was so set up for disaster. Like she was, of course, like you again. You have to sympathize with her. Like, sure, some of her actions later on towards certain characters wasn't the best, but look where she came from. She had a lot on her plate from an early age, and lo and behold, it didn't end up well for Camelot, and it didn't end up well for her. But hey, you got better, if you want to say so. Depending on the route, you got better. Except for Heaven's Feel. Heaven's Feel, yeah, things happen there. All right, I'm gonna do something here. This is where it gets scary because I'm gonna dig myself into a rabbit hole, which is very hard to get out of. It happened in the last visual novel, like lore we did with Battler. Yeah, I dug myself into a gigantic rabbit hole, but that one wasn't bad. It was bad because of speculatory nature of Yumineko, but with this, it's not bad. So this introduces an internal struggle, sort of. God damn. This is gonna be a fun one. Okay. All right, let me just go over what I wrote today. Again, I do apologize for the relatively short stream today, but I'm definitely feeling under the weather. So, we did interpersonal relationships and we did self perception. Okay. Okay. So I do promise tomorrow we'll do a little bit more, but I should probably get to bed because I'm definitely getting cold sweats right now. It's that weird feeling where you feel like the shivers, but you're not sick. So, anyways, take care. I'll see people tomorrow. Have a good rest of your day, and we'll do more of this.